Everyone's on. Nice. Matt, did you realize right when you said that it was looking good for you, someone on the Nuggets posterized like 3 people at
Really?
once? Yeah. You didn't see that?
I thought he missed.
Did he miss?
He did miss.
Oh, shit.
Jeez.
We're cutting that out.
Let's keep that in there. Big night for the Rockets.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. I'm going to start right away because I really want to get into this. All right, we're back. It's the Memo. You got me, Alex, and Matt. Me is Richard. Sorry. We're really excited about this episode because we're finally starting to figure shit out. We got like a little format going. We got some segments, and we got a lot to say because some crazy shit has gone down in the past like week.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start it off real quick. There's some big news in New York. The Giants have won their second game of the season. They're now 2-7. Odell's prediction coming true, 8 in a row to the Super Bowl. Playoffs first, then the Super Bowl.
I think they have a shot to win the division, honestly.
Come on.
The way it's looking over there.
You don't think that?
The way it's looking over there, you'll never know. Never know. I hate
No, we
that
know.
division. I don't think I like a single team in that division.
The Giants aren't making the playoffs. I was kidding.
They got Tampa next week. Nice. String some wins together. Nice.
Should never have cut Davis Webb.
Okay.
Future. All right.
No,
so
it
yeah.
was nice, though, to see them get a win.
Yeah, you know.
Odell played really well. Eli actually looked good for some of that game. He had some good throws.
Yeah, but they should trade Odell, right?
Yeah, no, Odell's got to go.
The salt shaker of Giants fans just poured a little bit out, so they're not as hostile this week.
Yeah, they're feeling good. It's rare these days that the Giants get a win, so hey, let them have the week.
Hate to be biased, but I wanted to see them lose so bad on that last play of the game.
Dude, I bet the Giants, and I wanted to see them lose. That's just the feeling I had at the end of the game there.
Yeah.
Mullins couldn't throw it into the end zone vicinity. What the fuck was that?
This quarterback playing in his second professional football game.
Elite player. Yeah, so the Giants won.
The week was actually, we were down on the week saying that there weren't many good games. And honestly, the games weren't very close,
No.
but a lot happened.
Yeah.
You could at least say that.
Yeah.
Upsets happened. Some teams got much-needed wins. The biggest thing that stood out to me was that the Eagles are looking like they're in some serious trouble with the way, at home they're going to get beat by the Cowboys, a team that just got washed by the Titans.
Titans
look
We're
good.
talking
On
about
another
upsets
note.
here.
On another note, the Titans doing good, but the Eagles, come on, you got to be better than that.
Got to win that
that's
game.
a must-win game, and they just let it
Absolutely.
slip away.
Super Bowl hangover and Super Bowl luck last year.
It's more than a hangover.
Yeah.
This is just who they are.
Yeah.
They were just letting the Cowboys go up and down the field. It opened up in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't stop anybody.
And now they have to play the Saints.
They're going to New Orleans to put a nail in their season.
The Redskins, our favorite team in the league, it's getting better and better for them.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm closing the book on the Eagles this season.
Unless they make some magic happen again, but I just don't see it this year.
Yeah, they'll have to pull off a few in a row.
Yeah.
They got it. They might have to
I just
steal
didn't
this one.
understand. They didn't really get Golden Tate involved at all.
No. They just
What did they trade for him for no reason?
If you're in a fantasy league, you should trade Tyreek Hill for him.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure.
Wentz just loves Ertz.
Yeah, dude.
Loves Ertz.
Loves Ertz.
He's good.
I'm sure. Right now it doesn't look like they have time to bring Tate along slowly. I'm sure that was kind of the plan, but now
His contract is up after this year. What are you gonna ease him in? You have 8 games with the guy.
That's true. I don't know.
Got to get it going.
Maybe Peterson thought he could get him in there right away. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's his first game. And then the Titans washed the Patriots.
We'll get more into that later, but damn. Titans all of a sudden looking like a decent team, back-to-back wins in impressive fashion.
Deion Lewis putting the team on his back.
Yeah, they might make a push for that division.
Yeah, the Jets sold their franchise.
That was a joke, by the way.
The Jets sold their franchise. They're not playing out the rest of the season, so we won't talk about that.
Enough about that.
We might
team.
a little bit, but all right. Yeah, so
Let's jump right into it.
shit happened. Let's go to the first segment we got here. We're going to do our predictions for next week. We were supposed to think of a punishment, and we didn't think of it yet, but you know what? Maybe it would be a good idea. Maybe we'll think of a few, throw them up on the story. Maybe people can vote on it. That'd be cool. All right, so game number 1. Which one was this, Matt?
Wait, we're doing predictions first?
Yeah.
All right.
It's a logical thing.
All right. I don't know.
After the recap?
What was the first game was? Should
we were
just
gonna
kick it
do.
off?
We were
Chiefs,
gonna do
Rams?
Chiefs Rams. Start off with that.
All right, the Monday night game.
The game of the year on Monday
Yeah,
night.
the game
The
that just
game-
got switched back to Los Angeles because Mexico can't keep a field nice.
Sorry, Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
look, who wants to start it off?
I'll start it off. I think first. I'm gonna say who I think the Rams are gonna win. They're obviously both offenses are electric, and yeah, the Rams defense has not looked as good as the talent says they should. But I mean, the Chiefs defense is even worse, and both offenses are dynamite. I don't think you could go wrong. I just think
Two pretty similar teams.
yeah, but I still think the Rams defense is better than the Chiefs, and if I'm gonna trust a defense to like somewhat hold the other team up, I'll take the Rams over them, and I think they're also just more experienced at this point. More experienced players. I think they're the better team, so I'm going with the Rams.
It's gonna be a great game. I'm looking forward to this one. Who do I think is gonna win? I don't know. I think it's a toss up, but the Chiefs have kind of been playing. It looks like their defense is playing a little better recently, but they've also been playing some horrible offenses in the last 3 games. They played the Cardinals, the Browns, and the Broncos, I think. So that might be a little bit flukish. I'm gonna go with the Rams too, but like I said, it's a toss up really. It's two great offenses, suspect defenses, and this is gonna be a shootout. It's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, not much else to say besides what you guys have said. I'm gonna take the Rams too. I think it's actually pretty big for them getting this like last second home game in LA Monday night. Like, say what you want about the LA fan base, but when your team is winning like that, they're gonna show up, and it's gonna be a nice atmosphere for the Rams, and the Chiefs have traveled before. They went into Pittsburgh and they dismantled the Steelers. It looks like their game does travel, but they're going up against a defense that's much more experienced. Probably a defense that they haven't seen all season. On this caliber of team. Of course, you can pass on them, but if that front seven can keep Kareem Hunt in check, I think it'll be a shootout. It'll be a close game, but I'm expecting the Rams to get it done at home.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's my.
So we all agree on the first game.
Rams
so
across the
Will
board.
there even be a loser this week? Who knows? All right.
It'll somehow be Alex anyway.
All right. Who we got next? We got. I'm sorry. Keep blanking out. We got.
Bears,
Sunday night.
Vikings?
Yeah, we'll go Sunday night. Bears Vikings.
All right. Who wants to go? You want to go first, Alex?
Yeah, I
Love
could
the-
take this.
Love the Bears.
Yeah, I'm as has been well documented. I'm a big fan of the Bears. This game is in Chicago, so that adds an interesting dynamic. Chicago's defense is looking fantastic, as usual. Good young defense over there. Trubisky had a great game last game against the Lions. So maybe he's coming into his own. Maybe he's taking that next step that people have been waiting for. He's still, after watching that game, he still does make some like questionable throws that could go either way. That Lions secondary was without Darius Slay, I'm pretty sure, this last game, which he's good, and he makes that secondary what it is. It's a pretty good secondary, but it's not even close to the same without him. I'm not totally sold on Trubisky, and that Vikings offense is stellar, led by DeFilippo. Please, Jets.
I pray to the Lord.
Take a look at this guy. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. I think they're just the more complete team, but I think it's going to be a good game. We'll see. The Chicago defense is going to be put to the test in this one.
Yeah, I mean
that Vikings defense is coming along for sure after looking pretty suspect early in the season.
early in the season. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Vikings too. And I said last podcast I'm not really a fan of the Bears, but they do have a great defense. And Cousins, like when you get pressure in his face, like he definitely struggles a lot.
And that Vikings offensive line is not good.
Not good at all. And Khalil Mack last week looked like he was definitely back to form.
Yep.
Did you see that play where he ran over those like 2 guys in one play? It was crazy.
Yeah,
But
he's a freak.
I still trust the Vikings overall as a team more. I mean, they have a more experienced head coach, more experienced quarterback, just more experienced like team overall.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are obviously young, and I'm
Prime time.
prime time. I'm just more of a fan of the Vikings and their team in general. I think they're better, and I'm gonna pick the Vikings to win this one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take the Bears. I think I still don't like Kirk Cousins. He's great the first 3 quarters when, things are easy, things are, opened up for him. Come crunch time, he's always making that mistake. He's always making a bad turnover. And against the Bears defense that will capitalize on a mistake more than any other defense in the league, I think he can't afford that. And he gets shaky, once he's under pressure. With that bad offensive line, like we said, it has, to me, this looks like it's going to be a game that is just dominated by the Bears defense in all facets. The run game has not really been there for the Vikings consistently.
Latavius Murray, elite.
Murray will break one off, or Dalvin Cook, if he's on the field, he's decent, but they're nothing special. I think I'm expecting the Bears to force Cousins to pass the ball, and when he does that, he's prone to the mistake. He doesn't have many picks on the year. He just always has costly interceptions.
He's always been that way.
Even back to his days with the Redskins. And on a primetime game like this, it's a huge game for the NFC North.
Yeah.
The winner's going to have the division. Going forward, they're going to be leading the division. And I really like what I've been seeing from Trubisky. I think every week he's getting better, taking a
Played
step
really
forward.
well last week.
He when he's on, he's really fucking good. When
Mhm.
he's off, he's bad. But I'm expecting him to just keep improving week after week, and I think that this is a prime game for the Bears. I've been down on the Bears, saying they're a year away, but they prove me wrong every week with the way that they're playing. I'm expecting them to come out and make a statement in this game and really just grab that division. Have a nice hold on that division at 7-3. It would drop the Vikings to 5-4-1, so it would be pretty much 2 games. But I like the Bears here a lot. I think that they're going to really show up. First, this is a fun fact. This is the first home game on primetime in Chicago in 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that
the
primetime slot.
Bears are back.
I think that primetime slot makes this matchup kind of interesting because, like Richard said, this Bears team is really young, and all eyes are going to be on them in this one.
It's
So
almost like a playoff game in a sense.
yeah,
It's for the division at this point.
it's like
the Vikings are your competition at this point to make the playoffs.
Both teams want to prove that
Yeah.
they're legit too. The Vikings had so
It's
many
like-
expectations.
It's obviously not as important. It's kind of that atmosphere. You know what I mean?
They're both
Yeah.
coming off wins against the Lions too, both in impressive fashion. But
I think the Bears have more to prove than the Vikings here.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
Really?
What were you gonna say? Yeah,
I was
I'll
gonna
cut you
say
off.
basically this whole team is if the Bears win this game, this is a statement game from them saying we're legit, and in prime time against a division rival, a very good division rival at that. Most of these Vikings players have been there before, played in the playoffs,
But the
won
fact that
playoff games.
the Vikings go into this game on paper probably the better team with the
Yeah.
higher expectations. I think
Yeah.
if the Bears lose this game, then people will say, all right, they're the Bears. They weren't expected to do much this year. If the Vikings lose this game, then it's like, who is this team? They keep losing these big games. They lost to the Saints. They lost to the Rams. They're losing to everyone in the NFC. They're going to have to play again if they want to go anywhere. And this was a team that could have been the favorite in the NFC before the
Mhm.
season started with adding Cousins to that roster. I think the Vikings have a lot to lose this week, and they're
I think I agree with Matt.
they're seriously going to be behind the rest of the pack in the conference, even if they lose this game.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Definitely a good game.
Okay.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
So we got the third game, our favorite team, the Redskins
Washington, baby.
and the Texans. The Redskins and the Texans.
Start us off here, Matt.
Yeah, Matt, you got to start us off.
Okay. I mean, I think we know where I'm going here.
The Redskins expert.
Yeah, Mr. Washington. Look, this is a tough game because the Redskins, as much as I like them going into the season for whatever reason, they're just squeaking by every opponent that they play. They win ugly. They win, close games.
But I feel like that's how they want it to go.
Yeah.
When
no,
it's a close, ugly game, that's a Redskins game. That's
Yeah.
a game the Redskins are gonna win.
Totally. You're totally right, but that's also a way that if you slip up, you have no margin for error.
Exactly.
Like, you can fuck yourself that way. So far, they haven't done that. You guys saw the stat against the Bucks this past week? The Bucks had 500 yards of offense and scored 3 points.
That's nuts.
I did not see that, but that's insane.
The Saints had 500 yards of offense and scored 51 points. They had like
How is that possible?
they had 4 turnovers in the red zone.
Okay.
2 picks, 2 fumbles. So hey, bend.
I am absolutely
And
shocked.
I've never heard of anything like that, dude. Bend but don't break, Washington, dude. I guess that's how they want to play it. But I'm gonna chalk that up to Fitzpatrick more than anything else.
Are they going back to Winston?
No, they said they're gonna keep Fitzpatrick.
What a dumpster
But
fire.
then on the other
It's a good
side,
move.
and I still haven't picked who I'm gonna take yet. But Houston, they've won 6 in a row after an 0-3 start. Like, is that how good they are? Off the top of my head, I don't know who they've beaten, but they look pretty good. They look legit.
Beat the Titans.
They beat the Titans.
I
It's
just
the best team in football right now.
I just think the Texans are another team that it's just like another team that will just wash the Redskins, honestly. Like, it's an explosive offense, and I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to turn the ball over 4 times in the red zone. Like,
Where is the game?
I believe it's in Washington, but
no matter
don't
where it
quote
is,
me on that.
I think DeAndre Hopkins and now Demarius Thomas and Deshaun Watson are not going to put up 3 points against a team that's
think,
let up
It's in
500
Washington.
yards to the
I think
Yeah.
QT is coming back too, so solid number 3.
But dude, it's not like the Bucks haven't put up yards on any other team. They have a good offense. Say what you want.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick has thrown 400 yards like 3 times this season.
But he's also he can throw 4 picks in the red zone or whoever. Maybe they had fumbles. I don't know.
So
but
you take advantage of.
but I think Watson will take advantage of that. I just
Yeah, I listen. I didn't make a pick yet. I'm gonna go with the home team in a game I think is gonna be a toss-up. I'll take Washington. Just separate themselves from the Eagles a little bit. They know what's at stake with the Eagles in New Orleans. I think they'll just play a smart game. Just keep the ball out of Watson's hands.
What I was just trying to say before when I had a brain freeze, it's another game where the Redskins have expectations and people. It's a good team, and it's like, okay, can they win? And I just don't think they can win those games.
That happened a couple of weeks ago with the Falcons, who like it's debatable if they're even a good team, but after that Clinton Dix trade, that was a pretty big game for them, and people were expecting them to come in, make a statement against a debatably good team, but like beating the Falcons is a good win.
Yeah. They got washed.
And they got absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
I'm siding with Richard on this one. I feel like the Redskins are a little bit fake news. I think that defense is really good, but like I said for the past couple of weeks, if you can dictate the tempo against the Redskins, you can put up points and you're gonna beat this team. They don't have an explosive enough offense to keep up with the Texans. They have a good offense.
What are we defining as fake news? Because they have no shot to win anything.
They have no shot to win. They
So
might
like,
win the
they're
division.
just
6-3.
nothing. They're just irrelevant.
But they're 6-3. You have to respect that.
I think they can win the division.
All right, they're not gonna.
No, they're not.
I don't think there's
anything
any
once
shot they even win a playoff
There's-
game.
There's,
No.
there's nothing to laugh at winning a division.
All right,
that's-
but
Winning
you
the
know,
NFC
we're
East,
we're
the
saying
defending Super Bowl
we're saying
champions in that
we're saying
division.
fake news.
Okay.
Like
10
what is-
minutes ago, you were just shitting on the Eagles.
Yeah, but are they not the defending Super Bowl
They
champions?
are, but they're not a good team.
Okay, well, they play them twice. We'll see how that goes. But if they can win the division,
Yeah,
it's not their fault that
no.
the Eagles aren't living up to what
Look,
they
no,
should be.
I'm not saying winning the division is not an accomplishment, but like we're talking fake. What news are they? They're not any news. They're just the Redskins. The division is not good right now. They just
You're 6-3.
winning the
You're
NFC,
6-3.
winning the NFC East is, that's the goal. That'll get them into the playoffs, but it means
Okay.
nothing to me.
What are the Texans? They're 6-3. They're going to win the AFC South. That's also a shit division.
they look way better than the Redskins.
AFC South
Why
is
do they
better
look
than the
better?
NFC
They have
East.
better pieces.
They were 0-3. They're winning games
I
against
think
bad
a little
teams.
bit of a fluke
Six
start.
winning 6 games in
Watson
a row is
coming back
is
from an
a
ACL.
accomplishment. No matter who you play.
They're both 6-3 at the end of the day.
Up. Sorry.
Look, I think it's a close game. Would you be shocked if the Redskins won?
I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think they're gonna win.
Okay, we'll see.
All right.
I'll
I
take
got
the
Texans.
Redskins.
I got Texans.
So you guys must have spoken before this.
Have fun.
We
Make the
agree on-
same picks. Just trying to set me
You
up.
like
here.
cold
Wow.
water?
Yeah, I don't know what you like.
You like
I
the
don't know
cold
what-
bay out
I
there?
don't know what you got going on there. No, we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Those are the predictions. The loser which can only be me, will have to do something, or the two of you will lose, and then
Oh, we
you're
could
at my disposal.
We could do that. That's no
Um,
problem.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, stay tuned for that.
All right, so we're gonna move on to it's a new segment that we call the Scrap Heap, and it's where we take players, coaches, figures, animals, whatever you are. If you're garbage, you put in the Scrap Heap.
Yeah.
This
Everyone's
week,
on notice.
everyone is on notice.
Don't
So,
be an idiot.
who wants to go first on the new segment of
Let's kick it off right. Let's hear.
Let's kick it off right.
Let's hear Richard's
So we got pictures here.
Idiot of the week.
Idiot of the week, and you all know who I'm about to pull up, and it's this man. It's this man, Todd Bowles. Here, look at that misery. I believe this was taken after the Jets lost Sunday. So what a perfect picture to use.
I think calling it a loss is
More
putting
like
it very lightly.
Yeah, an embarrassment. This is a picture of a man who just lost his job. This is what you're looking at. What do you even say about getting blown out by Matt Barkley and the Bills, a team that they signed him like 2 weeks ago.
He's the Bills' fourth string quarterback.
He's the fourth string quarterback, and you know what I heard? You know what Jamal Adams said today in an interview? He said they prepared for Josh Allen, who hasn't played in almost 2 months. And there was no indication of him stepping on the field at any point, and you're preparing for Josh Allen when the other quarterbacks who have been playing for them up to this point were Derek Anderson and Nathan Peterman. It's not even like the current game film had Josh Allen in it. What are you looking at? You're looking at week 1? What are you doing? It's just the most idiotic. It's got to be the most. This has to be the worst coaching staff the Jets have had in years. It might be the worst offensive coordinator than Schottenheimer by far. They run the same plays every play. It's third down, and they have an empty backfield. You're just telling everyone you're passing. Every single time you're going to pass the ball, they go to an empty backfield. There's no trickery, nothing. Nothing at all. And they got blown out by the Buffalo Bills.
It's 31-0, right?
Yeah, it was 41-10. A defense that held an offense to 3 for 16 on third down and like under 200 yards of offense the week before, and you get blown out by a guy who hasn't played in 2 years against a team that had 2 wins. That was the consensus worst team in the league at this point. Maybe not the worst record, but with who they were trotting out there, they're the worst team in the league. And now you're in the scrap heap. You're fired. You're done. Todd Bowles, sorry. You fucked up. Get out of here.
I mean,
that's what I have to say.
LaShawn McCoy hadn't scored all season. He scores 2 touchdowns against the Jets, and they make Matt Barkley look like a fucking Pro Bowler.
Dude, people are like, I heard someone. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're like, the Giants next season comeback story. Matt Barkley. We don't need a draft. I mean, that person's a moron. But that's it. Got to that point that people are saying that. That is the worst thing that's ever happened to the franchise.
Powell was out.
Oh man, what a
Yeah, let's cut them some slack here.
Jesus, man. All right, yeah, Todd Bowles.
That's gonna be tough to follow.
Yeah, tough to follow, but that's what the scrap heap is gonna be. It's a lot of passion, a lot of fire, and a lot of people being idiots. But I'll go next, and I'll start it off by playing some audio from a Marcus Peters interview after they got absolutely carved up by Drew Brees and the Saints. Just so you have an idea about what I'm going off of with Marcus Peters as my scrap heap this week. Bear with me.
Sean Payton said after that New Orleans game, he said in that last sequence, they got the matchup they wanted with you on him one-on-one.
Tell Sean Payton, keep talking that we gonna see him soon. You feel me?
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I like what he was saying on the sidelines too. So tell him keep talking that and I hope you see me soon. You feel me? And then we gonna have a good nice little bowl of gumbo together.
Bowl of gumbo.
He's going to have a bowl of gumbo with Sean Payton.
I bet you Sean Payton makes better gumbo than Marcus Peters.
They'll make gumbo out of Marcus Peters if they play again this week.
Hold it up.
This is Marcus Peters, big offseason addition by the Los Angeles Rams. You know, the Rams gave up a 4th-round pick and a 2nd-round pick to get this guy, and he has been nothing but a disaster from the start. You know, I was looking at some of his numbers, allowing 62 yards per game through the air, good for 82nd in the NFL amongst, people who drop back in coverage. He's giving up about 6 catches a game, 6 touchdowns on the season. Pretty much just bottom of the league in every statistic that there is for cornerbacks. And after a blowout, not a blowout, after you get carved up by Michael Thomas to 160-something yards, you have the nerve to say that to Sean Payton. Sean Payton said, I like that matchup. And I would like that matchup too, He got destroyed. And you have a bowl of gumbo with Sean Payton. Why don't you learn how to stop that offense before you talk shit? Because you probably will see them again. And if that happens again, you have no shot of beating the Saints again. It could be at, the NFC Championship, which it's the matchup we all want. But Marcus Peters, figure it out, man. Stop talking shit, hit the film room, and come back better next week.
Dude, the reporter in that video is my favorite person in the world. Fair enough. It's the best reaction. Masados.
Moving along. My addition to the scrap heap, Mr. Dion Lewis, Mr. Personal, taking shots at Coach Belichick, who made you into a relevant football player for a little bit.
Got you that contract.
Got you that $20 million deal, and you have the nerve to say that it's personal. Do you really think Bill Belichick has a personal anything towards you? Bill Belichick probably doesn't even remember who Dion Lewis is. And I bet you he still doesn't know, because you ran for 57 yards against the Patriots on 20 carries. You averaged 2.9 yards per carry and then talk shit after the game to what most people would say is the best coach of all time. He made your career. He made you those $20 million. You're averaging 3.5 yards per carry this year. You are the definition of an average running back. And you play for the fucking Titans. Like, yeah, the Titans played well. They crushed the Patriots this week. The Titans are still dead last in offense. And you are the starting running back on that team. And you have the nerve to talk shit to Bill Belichick, who made you your $20 million. So, yeah, enjoy that $20 million. You'll probably be gone after next season because that's when the Titans can cut you.
Dude, he's gonna act like the Patriots losing is because he's not on the team. James White does exactly what
you better hope you don't see the Patriots in the playoffs. Yeah. They'll put up a fucking 60 spot on you guys.
Yeah, James White is better.
James White and Sony Michel are better than you.
Yeah.
So if it's personal to you and you whatever you feel like they went the cheap route. No, they just have better players than you. You'd be the 3rd string running back on this team. You'd be Rex Burkhead right now.
Yep. All right. And we have more than enough time to move on to our bonus.
This is we'll just call this the top scrap of the week.
Yeah.
With this guy. We all want a piece of him. Carmelo Anthony on his way to sabotage his 3rd team in 3 years. 10 games into the season, they're trying to cut this guy. I mean, what else is there to say? What else is there to say with this guy? Yeah, they want me to come off the bench, P. They want me to come off the bench.
Dude,
they don't even want you on the bench anymore, Melo.
Dude, his boys don't even want him on their own team. LeBron James doesn't want it. They were saying like the Lakers had no interest if he gets cut. Like he's about to get cut off the fucking Rockets. Chris Paul is probably like, get him out of here. He's trash. Yeah. Yo, this guy, man.
He's got an illness now. He's not traveling with the team.
Dude, ridiculous. Not 10 games into the season. And
yeah, he's ill.
Shooting one. Yeah, he's ill.
He's a real ill man.
1 for 11.
Disgusting.
I think he should. I don't even think he should try and reinvent himself and he's got to retire. He's got to get out of the NBA because he clearly has no interest in taking on a lesser role, and clearly doesn't even have the ability to do it because the guy can't take a normal spot-up jumper. He's wide open in the corner. Don't jab step and wait for the defender to get to you. Shoot the ball. That's what they want you to do. That's it. And you can't even do that.
That's pretty much all you're still good at.
Yeah, exactly. And I bet part of it is, he's coming off the bench for the Rockets. There's no shot he likes it.
No.
He's probably pissed off.
Yeah.
Probably
No,
is
that's
in his head the entire
that's
time.
known.
At-
That's public knowledge that he has a problem with his role.
At this point in
You
his
suck.
career,
You suck at basketball.
he'll give nothing to a contender at this point. The only way he's going to stay in the league is just to get some extra cash, play for a terrible team like the Hawks or something like that.
Whoever
He was
s-
on the
just
Hawks,
to keep
wasn't he?
playing. Yeah, they bought him out. Just
whoever
to keep
signs Melo is getting added to the scrap heap.
playing. yes.
Dude,
Next
Let
time.
that
What
be
I
a
don't-
lesson to all
What
owners.
I don't understand is, why are you going to go sign with a team where you've had a previous problem with how the coach handled you and then expect it to be anything different?
Yeah.
D'Antoni, they just don't mesh. They
Yeah.
run two completely different types of offense.
D'Antoni's
He
probably
doesn't
so
fit in the
happy about
system.
this.
It was just a marriage that was not going to last from the beginning. And Melo, just
It's
hang
like
it up.
Eminem
man.
and Kim.
You know what's going to
Just
happen, though?
hang it up,
You know what's
Melo.
going to happen, though? In the offseason, there's going to be a video, and he's going to have a hoodie, and everyone's going to say, he's on the rise, he's coming
Hey,
back.
I am all these guys know this. I am the first person to defend Melo. I'm a Knicks fan. I love the Knicks. I loved Melo's time with the Knicks.
You loved when he ruined the franchise by forcing a trade there?
He's one of the best Knicks of all time, which is not saying much, but he
It's
is.
more of an indictment on the Knicks.
He is. He is. And I want to see his number in the rafters one day. But
He's got to get out now.
I'm done with the guy.
Before he just completely ruins his legacy,
Yeah.
just get out now.
It's
man.
ruined.
It's really getting there, dude. He's
Dude,
really.
I can't even believe Knicks fans like him. I'm sorry.
His legacy isn't
Dude,
ruined.
the team, when they traded for him, they were look, Amari Stoudemire was playing like a superstar. They had chemistry. They were playing well. They had like a nice, like young core of guys. They had like Gallinari. Felton was having a career season. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship with this team, but the New York Knicks, if you have a pretty decent season, you're attracting free agents. And then they went and traded that entire
had-
team
but-
for Melo,
No.
and look how it worked out. Maybe they
had
could.
good
He was going to be a
years
free
with
agent the
Melo.
next year,
They
wasn't
had
he?
Good years with Melo.
He was. Yeah, they lost in the
They
second
would, they
round.
would trade.
Who gives
They were
a
the-
shit?
they
do
were
that
the
trade-
2 seed.
They would do that
I would
trade
do
again.
that trade again.
Yeah, I don't agree with
100%.
that.
They didn't do anything. Didn't do.
They
He was going to be a
Melo's
free
on the-
agent the next year. They weren't the 2 seed that year. They traded for him. Why didn't they wait and sign him the next year? And then they could have had at least a deep roster. They traded everyone on the team. Then he goes.
They had
Jeremy Lin breaks out. He doesn't like that, so he tells D'Antoni, no, it's got to be all me, all me. He teaches.
whack.
Porzingis is a diva because he learned from the best, Carmelo Anthony.
That is
Good
true.
job there.
That is true.
Goes to the Thunder. The Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony can't get past the fucking Jazz in the first round, led by
Dude,
a 20-year-old.
They had a deep team with Melo. They were
Who they have? Steve Novak?
Dude, they had players.
Yeah, they had players.
They had JR.
Doesn't mean they were good.
JR was sixth man of the year. They were the 2 seed in the East.
Yeah, now look at him.
All right, Melo's a scrap heap. We're not defending him.
I'll defend Melo during the Knicks years till I die, but he sucks now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
got to get out. Go throw on a hoodie and, like, play softball or something. I don't know, fucking know.
So,
Get out of the NBA. Look at
All
that.
right.
Novak had a 6th season.
Banged, like, 5 threes one game, and everyone thought the whole season was
Shot
good.
the lights out that year.
Where'd they go?
2 seed in the East.
Second round exit.
Hey,
Big whoop.
Knicks fans like that.
Yeah. Hey, no.
You have low
Okay.
expectations.
All right. I get it. You know, you're okay with losing. So when it happens, you're okay with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't
So
won a championship since 1973, so valid.
well, that's the scrap heap.
yeah, that's a scrap heap. New segment. It'll be coming back
Yep.
every week.
Keep
Now
it
we're moving
I
on
hope
to
you like it.
another new segment. And let me just throw off the top here. The segment is currently not in its final stage. We don't have all our utensils. This segment is called Stamp It or Shred It.
Mm-hmm.
We're
It's,
gonna
it's our little twist on buy or sell.
Yeah.
Give a statement. We'll say if we stamp it, if we agree with it, or we'll shred it, put it in a paper shredder if we're, not buying it.
Yeah, we're waiting on the stamp. We got the shredder, but you can't shred without a stamp. That's
No.
blasphemy.
It's not fair.
So
Facts.
we're gonna start it off. The first statement is, Matthew, I would like you to say this.
So, after last week's loss to the Titans, it's time for the Patriots to go into full panic mode the rest of the season. What do we think, boys?
Let's hear it, Masados.
I'm gonna shred that. How many times are we gonna do this where we count out the Pats? They have a few bad games in the middle of the season. People start to count them out. People start to say maybe Brady lost it, maybe he took a step back, and then he just comes right back and balls. How many times are we gonna do this? I'm not making that same mistake.
We're going to do it until it happens, until it comes to
We're
fruition.
gonna do it until it happens. Sure.
Until,
But
you got Tom Brady throwing 1 touchdown in 3 games. I know as a fantasy owner, you must love that. I'm sure you're pretty
don't
thrilled
love
with
that.
Brady's production this season. And I'm buying this. I'm stamping this. Put a fat stamp on this statement. Not in the
fat one.
fat old stamp on this statement. Not because they're done, that they don't have a shot. But if you look at the AFC, there's some real good teams in that conference now. They're starting to emerge. You got the Chiefs. Steelers look as good as they ever have. You have the Chargers, who, say what you will about their schedule, but they're going to be a tough out. You've got Houston. Who knows what Houston's going to do if they
We're
keep
gonna talk about Houston.
if they keep stringing these wins together. The Titans, who just put them,
We're gonna talk about the Titans.
the Titans who just put them down pretty easily. The Patriots were never in that game. They were
No, they
never in
weren't.
that game. And there's only so
None
many.
of the above want to see the Patriots in the playoffs.
I think the only threat to the Patriots, honestly, in the AFC is the Steelers.
Dude, the way the Chiefs played them this season,
Yeah,
the Chiefs, that offense is a threat to any team.
I just
agree. And
on
the Chargers.
playoffs, am I going to trust Andy Reid?
That remains to be seen, but every year
Teams don't
Brady.
seem to have a problem stopping him when it gets to the playoffs.
Every
Seems
year
like they
we
figure
say
it
this,
out.
like you said, the Pats, they start a little. They're off to a rough start. They have a bad loss. People are ready to write them off. There's only so many times you can climb out of that hole before this is just becomes an insurmountable challenge. And there's never been teams really other than the Steelers that can give them a run for their money in the playoffs.
I don't think that's true. The Ravens played them like 3 straight years in the playoffs, and they
beat
eventually
them
knocked
once.
them off.
They beat them once. Okay. They won the Super Bowl that year, but the Pats have always had they've had their way with these AFC teams for the most part. They're in the Super Bowl every other year.
Yeah, because they're the Patriots.
Right. So there's a time when a 41-year-old Brady with, a banged up Gronk, who knows if we're even going to see him again this
That I'm
season.
concerned about.
They don't need Gronk.
Dude, they don't need Gronk if Brady's going to be playing at Brady's level. If he doesn't have the same zip on his pass or that deep ball, like, he needs a security blanket, the best, probably one of the best to ever do it in Gronk. That's going to hurt them. And it shows when he has 1 touchdown in 3 games.
How many years has it been since Brady's had like an elite zip of an arm, throwing deep balls downfield? Like,
He can do it. He threw
Come
500
playoff
yards
time.
in the
Come
season.
playoff time, it comes
I-
alive.
yeah, I mean, at this time last season, he had a little bit of a rough patch in like the middle of the season.
Look, they're in a position now where a first-round bye is not even guaranteed. If they have to play a wild card Chargers team in the first round, then they get past them. Then they have to go to Pittsburgh. Then they get past them. They have to go to Kansas City. They're going to have one of the toughest roads they've ever had to a Super Bowl. And they're going to be on the road for most of those games. They're not going to have, assuming, the Steelers, they could take a loss. They can get that first-round bye. But if they don't, they're not going to be in the position that they're used to being in. So I'm gonna stamp it. It's time to take a serious look at where the Pats are and be a little concerned moving forward.
I see what you mean, but the Pats, it's never been the talent on their roster is always a question. They always have a suspect defense. Their weapons aren't always the best, and I can quote you as saying these are some of the best weapons Brady has had in quite some time, and they still have that head coach. They still have Bill Belichick,
Edelman hasn't done shit.
hasn't done anything, but
Michelle's hurt. He doesn't look good.
they still have Belichick. He's going to put people in a position to succeed, and you know what Brady does when it comes to January football.
Yeah, I'm shredding it along with Alex.
You guys ever disagree?
You can't disagree on the Pats when you're a Jets fan.
Yeah,
You've
he's
just
right.
seen it too many times to
Yeah.
to fall for any type of
PTSD.
yeah. And all right, I do get what you're saying. They definitely have a tougher road than previous years, but I mean, obviously they're going to win the division. There's no doubt about that.
They can have a first round bye.
Yeah, they can. I mean,
Of course they can. Right now they don't have
the
it.
Rams could beat the Chiefs this weekend, and then maybe the Chargers throw the Chiefs a loss, and then like the Patriots have the
Chargers would get
tiebreaker.
bye.
Would they over the Patriots?
They'd have the
When they
same
both
record.
have 3 losses. So
Chargers
why would?
have 2 losses?
Oh, okay.
If they beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs will have 3 if they lose to the Rams.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
No,
it's-
I see all your
the
points.
Patriots
I'm
are a
just-
different team when it comes to playoff football. They just know exactly what they're doing.
If we're talking about
was-
if we're going to talk about panicking though, there's no way anyone in that Patriots locker room is, and
no shot.
no team in the AFC wants to draw the Patriots
Nah,
in any round.
Nobody's taking
And
them
it doesn't
lightly.
matter if it's the Chiefs, doesn't matter if it's the Chargers, doesn't matter if it's the Steelers. Nobody wants to play the Patriots.
I want the Patriots.
You do.
I do. I think
think that's the
they're very
easiest?
vulnerable. I'd rather them than the Steelers right now, or the Chiefs.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I feel like that's the one team.
Well, you
we
know
don't
the
want.
Chargers are going to have to go through
Wouldn't want the Titans.
somebody before they get to
There's 4
those teams.
teams in the AFC.
All right. 2 shreds, 1 stamp. Me and Alex agree again. Matt is alone. Might have to get you
You guys are gonna agree on the next one too.
get you a blow up doll to just agree with
Happens
you on
sometimes.
things. All right. Next topic. And we're going back to basketball here. This is going to be our final topic here. Then we're going to call it. Does Jimmy Butler go into the 76ers and make them the team to beat in the East? Oh, wait. Matt's going to cry. I put it in a question form. Let me put it in a statement form.
Just can't get it right.
Jimmy Butler on the 76ers makes them the team to beat in the East. There you go. It's like the opposite of Jeopardy on here.
Shred.
Except we don't win money. So
We lose a lot of money. doing
no.
this.
I don't think it makes them the team to beat in the East because
I
Are you
agree.
shredding it?
I'm shredding it.
Do you care about the segment at all?
I do. Why can't I say why can't I say shredded at the end of my statement?
not how
What
it
if I had
works,
what if
Richard.
I had a piece of paper and I was reading and I was like, okay, this and that, shred after I'm done.
That's not how the segment works.
All right. Matt's deciding all the rules now. I'm shredding it. I mean, this obviously they got better, but like the Celtics beat them in the playoffs last year without Kyrie and Hayward. I know Hayward's not playing well at all right now, but the Celtics got better with those additions. I mean, it's not really additions. It's more just getting them back. And the 76ers still had Simmons and Embiid when they played them. And they obviously are going to have to get some sort of chemistry going. It's a new player. And
The 15th game of the season.
I know,
They have
but like,
time.
I mean, like what, like Butler's a guy who wants to be like the alpha dog, like give me the ball all the
tunnel
time,
vision.
and they already have 2 guys who are pretty ball dominant. Like Simmons always has the ball in his hands, and if he doesn't, Embiid has the ball in his hands. Where does Butler come into play? Is he going to be a spot up shooter? He's taking that role. Is that what he's going to do? Or is he the guy when they need a game winning shot? Are they going to go to him, or is it Embiid? Like what is it? What's
He's
going on
gonna-
here?
Why
I
don't
just
you
also
see him on the court
you got this.
first?
You also got this. All right, I'm
We're talking hypotheticals.
talking hypotheticals. And like I said, the Celtics, I think after what they did last year in the playoffs without their 2 best players, like I don't think you can just discount them and say
And it's
and
not like the
especially
Celtics are the only other team in the East that's
yeah,
good.
exactly. And like you got the Raptors, you got
The Bucks.
the Bucks, yeah. And I mean, you could argue that like you could argue Giannis is better than any of those guys on the 76ers. You could say Kawhi is better than any of those guys on the 76ers. Like they have better players on these other teams. Kyrie Irving, champion,
Okay.
known in the playoffs to get it done. Like you're gonna
All
we're
those
gonna count
teams-
him out.
All
We're
those
gonna count
teams
him
have
out?
one guy, right?
No,
Sixers
they
have
all have
3.
multiple guys. But who's the true superstar they got? Kawhi Leonard,
Embiid.
superstar. Is he yet?
Yes.
Is he proven superstar? He couldn't beat the Celtics with Marcus Smart running point.
Okay, first of all, that
Marcus
series,
Smart, good point.
Terry Rozier ran the point.
Stop.
Good player.
Yeah, he's okay.
Okay,
Having a
so
terrible
you're
season.
shredding this.
Yeah, I am.
I'm shredding it as
pile on?
well. I'm shredding it as well. Simply, well, there's a few reasons why I'm shredding it. One, the competition in the East, that those top 4 teams in the East are very, I think, on a similar playing field. So I don't think there is a team to beat in the East. With regards to adding Butler, yeah, he's a really good player, but he's in both the locker rooms that he's played in, he's caused problems, and I don't think it's going to be any different with these personalities on the 76ers. Embiid's got a huge personality. Like I don't know. I could see him coming in and causing a problem as well. You bring up a good point with who's gonna be taking these shots down the stretch. Butler, he's known to get a little bit of tunnel vision in the fourth quarter. Hogs the ball, jacks up shots, maybe not the best shots. Who is gonna shoot threes on this team? It's Butler's gonna be your best 3-point shooter. Redick is a good 3-point shooter historically, but he's having a pretty bad. I'm pretty sure he's shooting like 32%. It's below the league average. Like unless
way low for him for sure.
Yeah, unless he turns it around. Like, how is this team going to space the ball out with Simmons on the court and Embiid and I know Embiid shoots threes, but he doesn't really hit them that much. This team has more problems than it seems. They have the 3 superstars, sure. If you could even, yeah, they're I would call them 3 superstars, but I don't know if this team is the team to beat in the East.
I mean, and I like that you brought up the personality of Embiid because he's like a funny, goofy guy, and like Butler clearly is like a hard-nosed, like get it done type of guy. I mean, he's gonna. How do we know he's gonna deal with that type of personality?
Embiid plays hard.
Yeah,
he plays to win. He loves to win.
Yeah.
Simmons, totally serious guy, a complete gamer. Like, they mean business, Philly. Like when they go out to play. I'm gonna stamp this. I think they are the team to beat in the Eastern Conference now. Just in terms of a starting 5, like in an era of the big 3, there's no team in the East that has three stars like this now. It's the 15th game of the year. They're going to have plenty of time to gel. That defense is going to be ridiculous. Embiid and Butler on the same team with Simmons guarding a point guard, like it's going to be tough to score on them.
I just don't see, like, they're going to have time to gel, but I don't see the fit of the players.
Why can't he fit? Butler's a wing. What's wrong? They don't have a wing.
But he's like a shot creator. He needs ball in his hands, like, drive to the basket, pull up and shoot. Like, and you're not going to have Simmons stand off ball. He can't.
Nope.
Butler doesn't need to be on ball. He can't play with any team. He's not a point guard.
He can, but
any team with a point guard, he's not going to be on ball.
I don't think he's going to be getting the shots that he wants, like the touches that he wants. And I don't think he should. Like, I don't think he is the best player on the team, that he deserves that.
He's not the best player on the team, but he's gonna.
Seems like a guy who wants to be the guy.
Okay, and on top of him coming into locker rooms and tearing locker rooms apart, sure, he did that in Minnesota for sure.
He had problems in Chicago as well.
Wiggins and Towns, they're completely different types of people than Simmons and Embiid. Like, those guys, from everything we've heard of them, they are soft. They're just soft players.
So explain.
You question their will. Like
explain the problems he had in Chicago with Dwayne Wade. Like, Dwayne Wade, one of the best shooting guards of all time.
He commented some shit on like Gabrielle Union's Instagram or something. It's off the court issues. That has nothing to do with them gelling on the court. And he did some shit with Towns' wife or girlfriend too. He's an interesting guy.
Hey, Kendall Jenner.
Yeah,
he's coming for you.
Watch out. But no, at the end of the day, Butler wants to win. He doesn't want to be known as this guy who's coming in and destroying teams everywhere he goes.
Well, he's done. He's 2 for 2.
So this is, I think, he wanted out, he got out. He went to a great situation in Philly where they have a real chance to get something done. I think this is where he wants to be. This is somewhere that he wanted, to end up.
Hey, I mean, yeah, sure, you might be right about that, and I hope that's the case. Honestly, I would like to see this team succeed, but I think this team has a really fundamental weakness, which is who's gonna be shooting 3-pointers.
They haven't even sit on the court before. Like, let that play itself out.
I think I'm just gonna go back to what I said before. Like, I just don't see how you can say they're the team to beat when, obviously, I'm gonna say it's the Celtics because they lost to the Cavs, who obviously are not the team to beat anymore, and the Celtics were the second best team in the East that year. And I brought it up before. It was Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. And Simmons, Redick, Embiid, Covington, and Saric lost to that team. They still have Embiid and Simmons. Obviously, they lost Covington and Saric and gained Butler, but the Celtics gained back Kyrie Irving and
they
Gordon
don't look
Hayward.
like the same team.
But it's still early in the season.
The Celtics, I think that that mesh of players worked great together. With Kyrie and Gordon Hayward back in, those guys are demanding the ball. It's obviously affecting Jaylen Brown. He's playing terribly this year. Yeah. He had a great season last year.
It could have the same effect on a team like the 76ers.
They're just adding another piece. They're adding another star player.
It's never that easy.
That's why they have plenty of time to work it out. I mean, on paper now, I think they have the most talented roster in the Eastern Conference. Whether or not that plays into on the court, it remains to be seen.
Them or the Celtics.
Maybe the Celtics. If not, if Hayward's going to average 10 points a game.
The Celtics definitely have more depth at this point after that trade, I would say.
I just think in today's NBA, where it's so reliant on 3-point shooting and spacing, how does this team make sense? How does it make sense?
That's a great point.
You can't just be taking mid-range jump shots and layups all game. You can't, and feeding it into the post to Embiid. If you can't space out the court,
Embiid can shoot from anywhere on the court.
He's shooting 27% from 3.
I think he's in the 30s.
I was looking at today or yesterday. It was the 27.
27?
Yeah, it's not good.
If he could start knocking down jumpers, then.
But at the end of the day,
also
he's
never going to be a knockdown shooter either, though. Maybe he'll hit in the 30%, but is Embiid spacing the floor for you?
But at the end of the day, we always say that you have to have shooting or whatever, all this, which is true. You have to shoot in today's NBA to match this. But Embiid is getting 28 and 15. However he's getting it, that's happening. Those points matter no matter where they're coming from. If he can do that without shooting threes, without shooting a good 3%.
He was doing that with Saric and Covington, 2 of their best 3-point shooters.
Okay.
Now they don't have those players anymore.
That's fair, but you know what? They have other players now. Butler can make shit happen. He's going to be able to hit some threes here and there.
He's a good 3-point shooter.
It's more than just even hitting the threes. It's about spacing in general.
Right.
It opens up a lot.
I think Butler spaces that team out fine. They have a center, they have a point guard, and they have a wing interior, mid-range shooter. I don't think the spacing. What is the issue with the spacing?
They have Butler is the one player on the team who's shooting above the league average in 3-point shooting this year.
Let's go to the Celtics.
One player.
Back to the Celtics, who I'm saying is the team to beat. 1 through 5 can all shoot threes. 1 through 5. Starting 5. 76ers do not have that same luxury.
Well,
and
Sixers
I think
they're playing better than the Celtics right now, and they just added Jimmy Butler.
All right. I think that will lead to some more losing before it starts leading to winning first.
Maybe Butler is going to come in. He's going to play hard defense.
They didn't just add Jimmy Butler. They lost 2 very good players.
2 starters.
Yeah, 2 starters.
That's the 2, and then 2 new players going to be a completely new player that they have never played with before, and another new starter is coming into the starting lineup, and Markelle Fultz is on the team. How can you go right? How can you go right?
I don't think the Celtics have been impressive at all this season.
No one does.
They've been disappointing.
Yeah,
too early.
But I feel like the Celtics are more underperforming than they have a real issue.
If it's not the Sixers, it's the Raptors. It's not the Celtics. The Raptors are the team. If it's not the Sixers, the Raptors are the team to beat.
I don't know.
That team looks very, very good.
They do.
They have two players emerging, Siakam and OJ Anunoby, who are they're serious defenders too, and Siakam can score. That's a good team. If I'm the Sixers, I'm most concerned about the Raptors. With Lowry, obviously,
because
say what you want
Kawhi
about
Kawhi will absolutely lock Butler or Simmons.
Okay, and who's stopping Embiid's 30 points?
Me. I don't know. Ibaka, elite.
I think the Celtics are the team to be in the East. They look like a team that they're super talented up and down the roster, and they look like they just need some time to figure it out.
Yep, I agree. 100% agree.
You really think Jaylen Brown's going to play like this all season?
I don't think we know who Jaylen Brown is.
You think Kyrie's not going to start turning up?
No.
No?
No. I've said this for years. Kyrie, he's a 21 to 24 points per game player. If he wasn't, he'd be better than that by now. What's holding him back? Why can't he score 28 a game? He gets the ball in his hand every single possession.
I mean, right now they've in terms of scoring, they have guys all over the court that can score. Does he really need to throw up 28 a game?
Tatum
Tatum
does take a lot of shots.
Yeah, is he getting the amount of shots? And should he even be taking that many shots when they have this team?
The thing is with the Celtics is like it looks like the whole team has taken a step back, which looks to me more like this is just they're just playing poorly. Like from last season to this season, everybody on the roster besides like Marcus Morris has taken a step back. I think they just need to figure it out, and then they'll start.
I'll give them time. Like we said, it's 15 games into the season. Hayward better pick it up. He's coming back from a serious injury. He definitely deserves some time. But we've never seen him play in the Celtics system, really, besides this sample size, and he's averaging 10 points a game. So we'll see if he even fits. You talk about spacing. You have Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Jason Tatum. They pretty much play the same position.
They're all starting, though, no? They got Tatum at the power forward?
I don't know what they do.
Pretty sure. All right. Well, it's still so early for the NBA. So everything we're saying right now.
It'll clear itself up.
Yeah, but
we didn't even talk about the Bucks, which they're a one-man show.
Yeah, I don't think they're really much of a threat,
They're
honestly,
a step behind.
in a series.
King of the East.
All right. So once again, me and Alex.
Did scare me.
Once again, me and Alex are shredding, and Matt is stamping in a disagreement here. This was primetime
confident.
Primetime collusion going on this episode.
Big time handicap match in this one.
You got that hundo?
I think I held my ground.
Got you later.
All right, let's call it.
All right.
Let's call it. I think that was a good start to the new segments. I liked it.
It's definitely more structured from here on out.
Yeah, and we'll try and like keep it a little consistent, but maybe throw in a new one every now and then.
Get some props.
Yeah, it'll be fun. All right.
But that'll be it.
So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on all mediums: YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and please subscribe if you can. That really helps out a lot, and also lets you know when we post new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Fuck Melo.